Hello, everybody. Once again, it is me, Olivia, back for another episode of Olivia's Obscura. Now, I'm coming to you a little bit later this week because I was going to say beyond my control, but things completely within my control actually happened, and I didn't get a chance to record over the weekend. You know, if you're a weekly listener, that I refuse to plan ahead and record like a week in advance. I would much rather just play fast and loose with recording Monday's episode on the Saturday or Sunday beforehand. But that didn't happen. So it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm recording right now. I did want to get an episode out this week because I have shit to say, okay? As always. But yeah, my weekend, I rotted. I didn't rot because when I used to have rot days, when I was really depressed, a couple of years ago, and I rotted, I mean it. I rotted. I laid down and looked at my phone all day. I felt like shit. I didn't eat, blah, blah, blah. Now when I rot, instead of being depressive, the rot days are more regenerative, because Saturday, I remember I had some little chores to get done. I had a couple small errands to run nearby. I needed to fold some laundry and do some other little organizational cleaning tasks around the apartment. Once I did those, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm actually clocking out from the rest of the things because I had other stuff I needed to do. I needed to print some shirts. I needed to print some customs for people. I had to record the podcast. I just had so much other stuff to do. And I was like, I just don't want to do it. In my heart, I just wanted to lay down and play Cake Sort on my phone and watch YouTube. I wanted to mainline brain rot from two screens at the same time into my brain. And that's what I did. I did that for Saturday, and I ended up doing that on Sunday too, until we hung out with some friends in the afternoon. But I just kind of ignored. I threw all of my self-imposed responsibilities to the wind, and I just fucking rotted. And I just wanted so bad to watch stupid TV and play on my phone. And I was like, I just have to let myself do this, because here's the thing that I am learning slowly, is that if I don't choose to rot when I want to, I will then be forced to rot when I don't want to. I work my regular job Monday through Friday, part-time in the mornings as a receptionist. And then I do all of my other business stuff on evenings and weekends. And it just kind of catches up to you eventually. And so I needed 1 to 2 full days off where I didn't do my day job and I didn't do my business, where I didn't do my day job and my night job. Not really. I didn't do my day job and I didn't do my own shit. I just didn't. I just did nothing, and it felt so good. And guess what? Yesterday, Monday morning, I did have to work, even though it was Memorial Day. I went to work. I came home. A bitch was productive. Okay. And I wouldn't, if I had forced myself to limp through the weekend getting stuff done, then I would have actually no, because I'm the kind of person that I can't force myself to do something that I don't want to do. I will just put it off and put it off and put it off. The difference though is in how am I feeling when I'm putting something off. I can fight it tooth and nail. If I do want to rot, one mindset that I could choose to take is the route of being I have to do this thing, but I don't want to. I want to sit down and watch YouTube and play Cake Sort. And then in the back of your mind, you're just thinking the whole time, oh my God, I'm so bad. I should be doing this other thing, blah, blah, blah. You're not actually enjoying doing the other thing you've chosen to do. In my case, rotting. The other course of action that I am choosing to take more consciously now is, instead of being okay, I'm going to rot, but I'm going to feel really bad and guilty about it, and I'm going to be thinking about all the other things swirling around in my head that I could be doing. Instead of doing that, I go, I'm going to rot. I'm going to enjoy it, because if I sit and play on my phone for one day, that is not going to absolutely derail everything else that is going on. Like one day, one Saturday for me to camp out on the couch and watch 5 hours straight of Fundy Fridays YouTube videos in a row. If I do that instead of doing, I don't know, the 4 to 5 other random tasks I had to do, that's not going to derail my whole life. It's not going to derail my whole business. It is not going to put me in a hole so deep that I cannot get out of. It just makes sense to take a day, absolve myself of any guilt of not doing the things that I quote unquote need to be doing, and just do nothing and just do what I want to do, which is lay around. I love to lay around. So yeah, like, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, this is the feeling of like, you know, things like gnawing away at me, like in the back of my mind while I'm doing some other like leisure activity, is a new feeling that has come since I've started like my business and selling my art and like selling through different avenues and whatever. Like every time I'm not doing something for that, there's kind of this feeling of I'm leaving money on the table right now. Like when I'm playing Cake Sword on my phone, like there's this little voice that goes, oh, you could be like working on something that is going to make you money. Shh, I'm done. I'm done with it. I know that that's part of it. And that's just part of the price you pay for being an entrepreneur in some cases. You know what I mean? But you gotta freaking, wait, is the gym playing Good Luck, Babe? Oh my God, there's a gym right where I live. There's a gym, like a hardcore, like a Love Lies Bleeding, like hardcore gym. It's behind my apartment, and they blast music because they open the garage door. Like it's these big garage style doors that they lift up. So it's completely open, and they play the most annoying, terrible music all the time. But I think right now I hear them blasting Good Luck, Babe, which is, they must have gotten a different person on aux, because that's a severe vibe shift from what we're usually working with. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, I just am kind of like it's hard to take a day or two to just like completely absolve yourself of any like guilt or worry about other things and just like chill out, like rot, like absolutely like veg out. But you got to do it. Like I had to do it because I was going to do it. I was going to take Saturday and half of Sunday to rot regardless of if I wanted to or not. So I might as well just make myself want to instead of fighting against it, clawing into it, like willing it not to happen, because I was going to rot. I have to let myself rot sometimes. So yeah, I think rot days are really important because Monday did come around, and after my weekend of rotting, I felt really good, and I started my week off on a good foot, like getting all the stuff that I needed to get done. Like my to-do list is at a really reasonable place for it being Tuesday right now. And if I wouldn't have done my rotting over the weekend, I would have had to rot one of these weekdays, which I don't want to do. Like I have too much shit going on during the week. So yeah, that's kind of my little, thanks for coming to my little spiel about my passion and support of rot days and doing nothing. If you're feeling unmotivated, I'll say it from my point of view. When I'm feeling unmotivated, I just have to accept that. Like, no matter what I do, no matter how much I like, no matter how mean I am to myself and how bad I feel and how guilty I feel, being unmotivated is just like a feeling that comes and goes. And I think it's really hard when you are someone who like depends on your own motivation, like me. Like I have to be motivated to make stuff so I can sell that and pay my bills, right? So when you're not motivated, you feel really shitty and you think, I'm never going to be motivated. At least I think this way. I think, oh my God, like that's it. Like that's it. Like I ran out of the ideas. They're never coming back. That's not true. Like it's just cyclical, and like it's something that I'm learning. Like I've had to learn, and I'm still learning that like some days I will feel more creatively inclined, some weeks, some months I will feel more motivated, more creatively inclined, and so on and so forth. And sometimes I won't. And I could either feel bad about it when I'm feeling unmotivated, and I could feel really guilty, and I could force myself to do stuff and be irritated with the result when it's not what I want it to be because I'm not creating from a good place. Or I could just lean into it, rot for a couple days, be unmotivated, because the feeling always passes. And I think that's what gets really tricky for me, is like, I'm someone, when I'm in something like that, it feels so permanent. Like when I was really depressed, like I was like, this is it. Like I'm never gonna not be depressed again. Like, and I still get that way sometimes when I have like little like days here and there that are like bad, sad days. I think, oh my God, like all the progress I've made is gone. Like I'm never going to be happy. Like I'm just going to be sad forever. And then the next day I wake up and I'm like, what the heck was I talking about yesterday? Like I'm fine. Like same thing with like creative energy is like some days it's there and some days it's not. And it's never a permanent state. Like I sometimes find myself panicking when I am feeling like creatively, like not even stifled, just like dry, like creatively dry, like the well has been tapped, like there is nothing there. And I think, well, that's it. That's forever. I'm never going to make another thing again. I'm never going to have an idea again. And that's just not true. So I'm finally like getting to a point where I'm like, if I'm feeling unmotivated or really creatively stuck, instead of freaking out and assuming that it's the end, I go, hey, in like 2 to 3 business days, it's gonna be okay. Like, can you just like chill out for the next few days? And I promise it will come back. I have to go switch my laundry over, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Laundry has been switched. The episode is now officially commencing. What do I want to talk about this week? The first thing that I want to talk about is the new Billie Eilish album, Hit Me Hard and Soft. Okay? Hit me hard and soft. What the fuck did she put in this album? I have never actually gotten into Billie Eilish's music aside from like her singles, the songs that got radio play. But I have never once like listened through When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, Happier Than Ever. I don't know, like genuinely, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this. I think the first Billie Eilish song that I streamed, the first Billie song that I streamed like of my own volition, not just like hearing it on the radio or in the world or whatever, was the song she did for the Barbie movie last year. What is it called? When Did It End? When did it end? Or What Was I Made For is what that song is called. Yeah, so that was kind of like it. And then Hit Me Hard and Soft came out and I was hearing so much buzz about it. And I also heard Lunch, which is just an absolute banger and a bop. And so I listened to the whole album, and I've actually just been kind of listening to this album for the past couple weeks since it's come out. It came out, when did it even come out? May 17th. So yeah, for the past couple weeks, I have been, or 10 days, I guess, I have been absolutely rocking with this album. And there's a few songs on here that are like my, like chef's kiss, like perfect, engineered to perfection, that I have been listening to so much. I think that the best song on the album, and the one that I have been listening to probably the most, maybe tied with one other song, is Birds of a Feather. Like this song is so, it reminds me of, you know, like in tampon commercials when like the girls are like twirling around and smiling and laughing and doing handstands and cartwheels, and it's like they're just living the life, and you're like, all of this for a tampon commercial? I think that the song Birds of a Feather makes me want to behave the way that the women in tampon commercials behave. Does that make sense? Like it makes me want to like skip around and twirl around. I've been listening to this song on my little like walks around the neighborhood, and it's been kind of like sunny recently here. So like it's been sunny recently here. Bitch, I live in San Diego. It's kind of been sunny all the time. But, you know, we've got the May gray going on. Like, so when the sun comes out this time of year, like, it's amazing. I go outside, I put on the song, and I want to just, like, twirl around and skip around and throw my hands out and sing out loud in the street. Like, that's how the song makes me feel. It's amazing. It's a crazy song. It's like, it's just so good, start to finish. And I love the lyrics, and I just think it's like such a sweet song. It makes me think of all of my best friends. It makes me think of Ty. It makes me think of Bruce and Adam, my cats. Because I love them, and I just think that Birds of a Feather, like, we needed like a fun like lover girl song for the summer, you know? Like, we need it. I don't know why the lyrics aren't coming up. Birds of a Feather lyrics. Billie. There we go. I want you to stay till I'm in the grave, till I rot away, dead and buried, till I'm in the casket you carry. If you go, I'm going too, because it was always you. And if I'm turning blue, please don't save me. There's nothing left to lose without my baby. I just love it. I'm just obsessed with it. I'm assuming that if you're listening to this podcast, you've also listened to this song. But if you haven't, for some godforsaken reason, please go play Birds of a Feather. Like, that's your required reading, like your required listening homework for the week, okay? Listen to that song. Hey, why don't you throw it on repeat? Go outside, sit in the sun, listen to that song on repeat, and tell me that it doesn't seep into the fucking essence of your being. Look me in the eyes and tell me that. I bet you can't. Wildflower is also a song that I was listening to one day when I was walking, and it like stopped me in my tracks. I had to. Are you guys ever listening to a song kind of like passively, but then like something about it, you like stop and you're like, wait a second, I wasn't really listening. Like, I need to start this song over now and like really listen to it. Like, I was listening to it, you know, but I wasn't hearing it. And this song is one that continues to grow on me, and I've been giving this one a lot of streams recently. Now, I'm not sure, obviously, like canonically what this song is supposed to be about. Like, from what I can tell from the lyrics, it's like, it's from Billie's point of view. It's like she is kind of dating someone, but she is also kind of friends with their ex. And so it's kind of like a confusing situation of like, did I cross a line? Like, I'm friends with this girl, but I'm now dating her ex. Like, I don't know. It's one of those, but I really like it because I am someone who has been known in the past to ruminate on people's exes. And that is just like something about me. Okay. Like, not anymore. Like, I am settled. Like, me and Ty were settled and everything, but like, when things were a little bit like when I was dating, like, I would get really caught up in the people I was seeing, like their exes and their old flings and their ex-partners and whatever. Like, that was something that would like really get in my like, I have talked about this in therapy. Okay. So it's okay. But guys, don't worry. I talked about it in therapy. It's okay. But the song like really hit me is because it's kind of like, I kind of listened to it from the point of like, the ruminating on someone's ex and just like constantly thinking about them, and like everything you do with this person is like flavored in the back of your mind because you're thinking about the person they were with before you. Like, that's kind of how I am hearing this song, because like, that's my truth. You know what I mean? I'm the kind of bitch who ruminates. Ruminator, I hardly know her. But like, we need to go through these lyrics, okay? Verse 1. Things fall apart and time breaks your heart. I wasn't there, but I know she was your girl. You showed her the world, but fell out of love and you both let go. And then the chorus, she was crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her, only made us closer until July. Now I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time, like a fever. Like, I'm burning alive, like a sign. Did I cross the line? And I don't know, like, this gave me like shivers the first time I listened to it because it is just so accurate to my experience in the past. Like, I've had this feeling in my own life of feeling like I crossed a line by even thinking about someone's ex so much. Like, it feels like I'm violating them even just because I'm like thinking about them from a distance. I don't know, like that like really got me. Verse 2 is another doozy. Well, good things don't last, and life moves so fast. I'd never ask who was better, because she couldn't be more different from me, happy and free and leather. Oh, another one that I relate to so much. Like, it is, I remember, like, yeah, like, it is just so, it's such a trip sometimes to be dating someone and know who they were with before you, and it was someone that was just absolutely so much different from you. Because on one hand, you're like, well, I could never compare. Well, actually, on both hands, you're like, I could never compare. But on one side of that, it's like, I could never compare. And that's like a good thing, because it's not like I am just like filling this other girl's shoes. It's like, I am my own person. And I am desired in this relationship because of who I am as a person, and not just because of my ability to fill the same kind of shoes that the previous person filled, if that makes sense. But on the other hand, it's like, I can't compare, and that's really scary, because if you liked this other girl, how could you possibly like me? We couldn't be more different. So just kind of a good one. I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. Want to put it all behind me. I see her in the back of my mind all the time. Feels like a fever, like I'm burning alive. Dude, this song is just like so good to me. My favorite song at the time of recording, and it has been my favorite song since the first time I heard it off of this album, is The Diner. You guys, The Diner absolutely fucks. It is first of all, and I think I've said this on here before, when I find a song that is the perfect tempo for walking on beat, like when I do my little neighborhood power walks, when a song is like the perfect kind of like brisk strutting tempo, it's going to get a lot of airplay from me because I walk a lot. And it is so fun to walk to a song that your steps match up perfectly with the beat. And that's The Diner. Like, it is just so good. I also am like, I love like a fictionalized song. And I love it when songwriters write songs from the point of view of their fans, or in this case, like, I kind of take this song as her writing it from the point of view of like someone who is stalking her, like a fanatical stalker. And I just love it. Let's go through these lyrics too, okay? Don't be afraid of me. I'm what you need. I saw you on the screens. I know we're meant to be. You're starring in my dreams, in magazines. You're looking right at me. I'm here around the clock. I'm waiting on your block. But please don't call the cops. They'll make me stop. And I just want to talk. The way this song is like produced and like done and everything too is like so like kind of spooky, and like you get the feeling listening to the song that you're kind of like sneaking around, like I love it when the sound of a song like absolutely fits the lyric. Like, to me, this song is like a theatrical experience. Like, listening to this song is like, it's like watching a little movie in my head. And I really love that. Like, that's kind of why I love these like very vivid, like fictionalized in some cases songs, such as this one at the pre-chorus. Bet I could change your life. You could be my wife. Could get into a fight. I'll say you're right. And you'll kiss me goodnight. I waited on the corner till I saw the sitter leave. I didn't know that's what that says. I waited on the corner till I saw the sitter leave. Like a babysitter or a house sitter. Huh? I was easy getting over, and I landed on my feet. I came in through the kitchen looking for something to eat. I left a calling card so they would know that it was me. I just love this song so much. I can't wait to listen to it after I'm done recording this episode. I love that she's writing this from the point of view of like a stalker, like someone experiencing, what is it, like erotomania? I think that's the word for it. Erotomania. Yeah, like this just like pathological like desire to be with someone you don't even know. I think it's like such a clever song. It's such a good song. I just am obsessed with it. I tried to save you, but I failed. $250,000 bail. While I'm away, don't read my mail. Just bring a veil and come visit me in jail. I'll go back to the diner. I'll write another letter. I hope you'll read it this time. You better. The cops around the corner stopped me when I tried to leave. They told me I was crazy and they knocked me off my feet. They came in through the kitchen looking for something discreet. I left a calling card so they would know that it was me. It's so obvious that she's writing this from the point of view of someone who is so mentally disturbed that they're almost like proud of what they've done. Like, and then the bridge / outro kind of, I memorized your number, now I call you when I please. I tried to end it all, but now I'm back up on my feet. I saw you in the car with someone else and couldn't sleep. If something happens to him, you can bet that it was me. 310-807-3956. Has anyone tried to call that number? What if I did it right now? I'm calling the diner number on air, okay? I don't know where this is going to get me. 310-807-3956. I'm sure it's not real. Oh, I called the wrong number. I dialed 801 instead of 807. False alarm. False alarm, friends. Okay, here we go.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Wait, I can't hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Is this a real person?
Oh, let me call you back.
This is not a real
You
person.
can text this phone number. If you want to be texted first, press any key now.
Oh, I can. Okay, you know what? I bet it's one of those things that's like you can like get text messages, quote unquote, from the artist. I'm feeling like that's it. So I got because I was fully talking to fake Billie Eilish on the phone. So haha, obsessed with the song The Diner. I am not seeing enough people talking about it because in my opinion, like the first time I heard it, I was like, this is definitely the standout song from the album. I don't know why. I have like really weird reads on songs sometimes, like especially when I'm listening, especially in the context of like big albums, like that get a lot of chit chat about them online. Like specifically, I'm thinking through the lens of Taylor Swift because that's what I see a lot online. The first time, like I listened through like a Taylor Swift album or I like hear people talking about it, the songs like everyone really gravitates to at the very beginning or the ones that I hear the most buzz about are not songs that I really care about, which is not the case with Hit Me Hard and Soft because I do love Birds of a Feather, I do love Lunch, and those are like the two other big ones I would say. Like the Diner, Birds of a Feather, and Lunch are like the big three IMO from that album. But it is funny how sometimes I'll listen to an album before I hear any of the like critique or chatter about it. And I'll be like, oh, for sure, like this song is gotta be the one that everyone's talking about. And then it's not. And then it's not. So I'm thinking specifically of From Tortured Poets, which I'm still going to do my Tortured Poets addendum episode because I do need to talk about it more. I obviously have more like cohesive thoughts about it now that it's been over a month that I've had to sit with it. But everyone really fucks with Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, and that to me is like such a skip like on that. And I'm not saying that from a place of malice. I know that a lot of people love that song. I just like, to me it's just it's like a worse version of My Tears Ricochet. And like if I'm gonna listen to a song, like I'm just gonna go listen to My Tears Ricochet. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's enough. What I do now that I've talked about Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift, however, I feel like this is a really good segue into talking about whatever this like quote unquote beef is between Billie and Taylor right now. Have you guys been up on this? It kind of started maybe a month or two ago when Billie, I saw on Twitter that she had like done an interview or something, and she was talking about how it's so ridiculous how like so many artists release so many versions of their vinyls, which I absolutely agree. Like I do think it's ridiculous. I do think Taylor Swift is so guilty of releasing so many variants of her vinyls. Like, girl, chill out. She is not the only artist to do that. A lot of fucking artists release a bunch of different vinyl variants. So that statement on its own, I was kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't think that was a dig at Taylor specifically. That's just kind of like common practice in the music industry. But then other things, I think maybe last week Billie said something about like, I'll never do a 3-hour concert. Like, nobody wants to see a 3-hour concert. Like, which people were kind of like, this feels very pointed at the Eras Tour. Who else is doing a 3-hour concert right now? I need to pull up, like, I'm sure someone online has done a comprehensive overview of like everything that has happened during this beef. And I'm using the word beef extraordinarily loosely here because I think it's something that people on Twitter made up, to be honest with you. But I love garbage and I love gossiping about people I don't know. So I'm going to take you guys through it. We're going to learn about the Billie Taylor beef together comprehensively. So let me try to find some kind of timeline here because I know that some braver soul than me has already put this together. Okay, so this is, oh my God, yes, there was also all the stuff with the like acoustic or voice note variants that Taylor released. Like, allegedly people are thinking so that she could bump Billie off of the chart. I don't know. Okay, here, this is on Reddit. This is in the r-swiftly neutral sub, which I've actually never been in, but this was done by Bible Fanfic, which is an awesome username. And it is titled A Mostly Comprehensive Taylor Billie 2024 Timeline. Okay, here we go. Strap in, folks. February 4th, Taylor announces the Tortured Poets Department at the Grammy Awards. Both Taylor and Billie were nominated for 6 awards and each won 2. March 10th, Billie attends the Oscars where she wins an award for What Was I Made For. She was asked by an interviewer when she planned to release music next. Soon, okay? Let Ariana put her shit out. Enjoy that. That's all I'm waiting for. End quote. Which doesn't seem like that's all, like, okay. So we're supposed to assume that Billie Eilish is beefing with Taylor Swift because she said that she was excited for Ariana's music? Like, okay, like, get a grip. That kind of means nothing. Moving on. March 28th. Billie Eilish does an interview with Billboard where she makes comments encouraging record labels and artists to consider the environmental impact of duplicate merchandise, in particular vinyls. Quote, "We live in this day and age where for some reason it's very important to some artists to make all sorts of different vinyl and packaging. I find it really frustrating as someone who really goes out of my way to be sustainable and do the best that I can and try to involve everybody in my team in being sustainable. And then it's some of the biggest artists in the world making fucking 40 different vinyl packages that have a different unique thing just to get you to keep buying more. It's so wasteful." I mean, it's true. It is so wasteful. Like, it is such a cash grab. I do think I am so in the camp of, like, if it makes you mad, then don't buy them. Like, I hate it when I go into the comment section on, like, a Taylor Nation posts and people are, like, bitching about all the vinyl variants. Like, okay, I'm sorry. No one is holding a gun to your head making you purchase all 12 variants of the Tortured Poets vinyl. Like, no one is making you do that. I get why people are irritated, but I don't know why. Like, if you feel personally offended by it, then just don't buy them. You know what I mean? I do think that on a systems level, artists shouldn't be releasing that much because vinyls are plastic, you know, like, those are gonna have to go somewhere someday and they are going to not decompose. And I think from a consumption standpoint, not even the most hardcore vinyl collector needs 15 different variations of 1989 Taylor's version. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't need to happen. And so I'm on that. That's where I fall into things, right? I have records. Like, I don't have a Tortured Poets vinyl yet, but I honestly am probably going to get one because I have all the others. Not all of the others, but most of them. Even though it's not, like, my album, my favorite album or whatever. Like, I do want one just to have, but I just want one, you know? Like, I just want one. Just give me one. Back to the timeline now. Then when asked, but to be fair, the problem is systemic, right? You can't fault an artist for playing the number one game. Billie added, "We're all going to do it because it's the only way to play the game. It's just accentuating this already kind of messed up way of this industry working." Okay, so that makes sense. Because I do think, I've been seeing some whispers here and there on TikTok, but I can't really gather, like, I think that Billie Eilish did put out, like, a bunch of different variants of Happier Than Ever, which, like, you know, people are calling her a hypocrite. I think that people, especially like Billie is 22 right now. When she would have released Happier Than Ever, she would have been like 19 or 20. I do think that your opinions can change on things and your stances can change in general at any point in time, but especially during the jump from age 19 to 22. Okay. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves is when we drudge up something like an offhand comment that someone has made from like years ago. And people are like, see, you said this in 2014. And it's like, okay, like, are people not allowed to like evolve and change their minds over the course of 10 years? Give me a fucking break. 3 days later, March 31st, Billie takes to her Instagram story saying, okay, so it would be so awesome if people would stop putting words into my mouth and actually read what I said in that Billboard article. I wasn't singling anyone out. These are industry-wide systemic issues. And when it comes to variants, so many artists release them, including me, which I clearly state in the article. The climate crisis is now, and it's about all of us being part of the problem and trying to do better. Sheesh. Honestly, well said. Okay, no comment. April 8th, Hit Me Hard and Soft is announced via Billie's close friend's Instagram story. April 8th, Taylor posts TTPD lyrics on her Instagram story. And then the OP for this post says, IMO, this is probably just a coincidence. Absolutely. Absolutely, this is just a coincidence. First of all, these things are planned out so far in advance. These artists don't even run their own social media. Like, there's no way that was pointed, in my personal opinion. Second of all, what do you mean you announced an album via your close friend's Instagram story? What do you mean? Who even saw that? Is anyone, like, I don't know, maybe who's even on Billie Eilish's close friend? Like, does that mean she only announced it to like other people in the industry and like her personal friends? I don't know. I am wondering about that. April 19th. Oh, wait. April 19th, 12 a.m., The Tortured Post Department is released. April 19th at 2 a.m., the anthology is released. April 19th, sometimes in the afternoon, Billie Eilish's manager, Danny Rukasin, likes a tweet stating, the Carbon Emissions Department, the most fraudulent release in history. Listen, the Carbon Emissions Department is kind of funny, okay? Upon a brief glance through his Twitter likes, it seems that he has liked tweets shading Taylor going back to last year and potentially earlier. These likes are still visible on his account as of May 24th, 4 a.m. Okay, so that's kind of like the first bit of actual tea here, okay? I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the Carbon Emissions Department. I think that kind of slays. May 16th afternoon. Paparazzi photos of Taylor and Travis having dinner in front. Oh my God. I didn't talk about this. I didn't talk about this last time. Paparazzi photos of Taylor and Travis having dinner in front of the Grand Hotel Trimezzo was published. According to Elle and People magazine, these photos were taken on May 13th, but not released until the afternoon of May 16th. May 16th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 new standard edition variants of Tortured Poets, each including one unique voice memo draft of Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, Cassandra, or The Black Dog, are announced for pre-order. Available for listening starting midnight, May 17th. So that's crucial because midnight on May 17th is when Hit Me Hard and Soft was released as well. So this is when the allegations of like Taylor Swift like trying to bump or keep Billie off of the charts started happening. But I need to talk really quickly about those fucking Taylor and Travis pictures having dinner in front of this hotel, because I saw those and I was like, there's no way. A pattern that happens with Taylor Swift rather often is that I see something or I hear something and I go, there's just no way. And then truly there is a way, because it happens to be true. But there is something so hilarious to me about the way that those two were sitting at their hilariously, like, I don't care what you think about Taylor and Travis's relationship, right? I don't care if you think it's real. I don't care if you think it's fake. That dinner was staged to the high heavens, because who the fuck has a romantic dinner in their driveway? Like, that's what the pictures looked so funny. And I thought they were so like, I think they stood out to me because they reminded me, they were so reminiscent of The Bachelor or Bachelorette, like one-on-ones. Like, you know, when they're like, we're going skydiving today or whatever. But then like after they go skydiving, they have like a one-on-one dinner date like in the airplane hangar where they just like set up like one table and two chairs like in the most random place so the two contestants can have their date. Like that is exactly what these Taylor and Travis pictures were giving. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please Google these photos. I will also put one on the story on the Obscurapod Instagram. But yeah, like I think what really killed me about them was that it was giving so much like Bachelor Nation. I'm like, where is Jesse Palmer? I feel like he's about to walk out of the walls somewhere or something. Like, I don't know. Anyway. So we're on May 17th now. Hit Me Hard and Soft has been released. May 17th, 1:30 p.m. We are getting down to the nitty gritty here. User Bible Fanfic, you killed this. Thank you so much. I'll link this in my show notes if you would like to go read this. I feel like it's the least I can do for the labor that Bible Fanfic has put into this. May 17th. 1:30 p.m. Eras tour opener Paramore plays the song Misery Business by request of Taylor. When introducing the song, Hayley Williams said, quote, "This one came straight from the top. I'm not gonna lie. Me and the guys, we knew that we were testing the waters by pulling this out. So by request of Queen Taylor, here's your fucking breakthrough hit." I included this is from the OP. I included this because it may be connected to later comments made by Billie on Stephen Colbert. Okay, so put a pin in that. That comment made by Hayley Williams might be related to comments made by Billie on Stephen Colbert. May 19th at noon, isolated vocals for Hit Me Hard and Soft are released. May 21st, a producer pack of the Hit Me Hard and Soft isolated vocals became available for download via a collaboration with BandLab. May 21st, 7 p.m., Billie reposts Kim Kardashian's Instagram story featuring Hit Me Hard and Soft vinyl and merch. Okay, that's tea. Billie, extra context. Billie worked with Skims, Kim's apparel line, in 2021 for the Lost Cause music video and has seemingly been friendly ever since. So this repost didn't come completely out of left field. May 21st, 8 p.m., Fortnite Remix is discounted on iTunes to 69 cents. Haha, nice. First of all, who's buying songs on iTunes anymore? Please put something in. If you're out here buying songs on iTunes, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm dying to know. I didn't think anybody did that anymore. May 21st at 8 p.m., Fortnite Blondish Remix is released, which I listened to and I hated. I thought it was really bad and I didn't like it and I didn't think it needed to get made. But I digress. I feel that way about most remixes. You know, like they are just kind of like a marketing grab. Like they are just a way to get people to stream it more. So I don't expect miracles from remixes. They're just not my scene, and that's okay. Blondish is a musical producer and environmental activist who focuses on reducing plastic waste at music events. Okay, cool. Good to know. May 21st, 11:35 p.m., Billie Eilish appears on Stephen Colbert, where she makes comments regarding IP protection in the music industry. That's why I think it's important, or quote, "That's why I think it's important for people to be more forgiving of inspiration." Because I think we live in a world where people want everything to be perfectly original, but you have to let yourself be inspired. Some interpret this as a comment on the writing credits dispute of Olivia Rodrigo's song Deja Vu, wherein Taylor Swift was retroactively given writing credits for the song upon legal request. It is reported that the same request came as a result of comment. It is reported that the request came as a result of a comment Olivia made about being inspired by Taylor's song Cruel Summer. A similar credit dispute took place regarding Olivia's song Good For You and Paramore's Misery Business. Oh, okay. So that's why we're supposed to relate the Misery Business comment. I don't think that has anything to do with each other. I don't think that the thing Hayley Williams said about Taylor requesting that they play Misery Business, I really don't think that has anything to do with Billie Eilish talking about letting yourself be inspired on Colbert. And honestly, I agree with her. I say this all the time. I don't. In my head, I do. I think all the time that if you're trying if your number one focus as an artist, and in my case, like not a musical artist, but like a visual artist, if my goal 100% of the time is to make completely 100% original things, I'm never going to make anything, because sometimes I'll have an idea and then I'll be scrolling on Instagram and I'll see something like so tangentially similar, but like if I put it next to the thing that I made, like you wouldn't really see the correlation. But because I, the maker, saw that other thing, I'm like, oh my God, like, well, it's not even worth making it now because someone else has already done something that's loosely related to it. And that's just not, like, I have to tell, like, I'm allowed to be, yeah, inspired by other people's work. Like, I personally think that good art creates good art. Wait, what is it? Like, I think that good art begets good art. Is that the word? Begets? Beget? Like, yeah, to procreate or generate offspring. Yeah, so like I think that like the goal of making art, whether that's songs or paintings or whatever, should be that other people make art inspired from your art. Like, what higher praise could there possibly be to a creative than inspiring someone else to create something that is like, you know, an offshoot of your work, or not even an offshoot, that's not the right word, but like, I don't know. I think it's like, that's one of my favorite things about art and music. Like, I'm not a very musically inclined person, but I bring a lot of the feelings and themes from the music that I listen to into my art. And like, what a shame if I wasn't able to do that, or I didn't allow myself to do that, you know? Anyway, so I'm on Billie Eilish's side with that comment. I do think that people want everything to be perfectly original, and we do need to allow ourselves to be inspired by other people. It is not a weakness for your work to be inspired by someone else's work. It's a strength. Like, this is all like, I could write a fucking thesis about like the individuality complex that we all have as Americans, and like how the true like meaning of creating art isn't to distinguish yourself as this like really special, amazing person who is doing the most original thing. Like, that's not the point. The point is to like create community and inspire conversation and create something for people that can be like a shoulder to cry on, figuratively. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. Where was I? May 22nd. So May 21st was when the Stephen Colbert appearance took place. May 22nd, the next day. Oh my God, I'm yawning so much. Here, I need to go get a coffee. I've been really into the La Colombe draft latte cold brew with oat milk. I haven't ever seen them before until recently when they started showing up at my Trader Joe's, but it says double cold brew with oat milk, which I'm confused because usually double would imply the presence of a shot. One might say of espresso. But it's cold brew, so I don't really know. I usually don't even really like cold brew. Like, I am an espresso girl, like iced Americano 100% of the time, never cold brew. But I picked this up on a whim one day, and it's honestly better than their like oat espresso draft latte in the can. Total sidebar, but if you were wondering about my La Colombe canned latte preferences, it is going to be the draft latte cold brew with oat milk. It's in like a little brown can. Really fucking good. Ooh, delicious. Okay, let's get back to business, okay? Let's get back to fucking business. May 22nd, 1 p.m., L'amour de ma vie extended edit is released. 6 p.m., Hit Me Hard, Hit Me Soft is discounted on iTunes to $4.99. And then a few hours later at 11 p.m., Fortnite Blondish Remix is discounted on iTunes to 69 cents. May 23rd, 4 p.m., Billie goes live on Stationhead. Billie is asked, are you going to put every song from Hit Me Hard, Hit Me Soft on the set when you perform? Billie replied saying, I can't do that. My show would be like a million years long. I'm not doing a 3-hour show. Nobody wants that. You guys don't want that. I don't want that. This is then widely misquoted across social media as, quote, doing a 3-hour show. Nobody wants that. May 23rd, 6 p.m., 3 new standard edition variants of TTPD, each including one unique live from Paris recording of Love of My Life, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, or The Alchemy / Treacherous, are announced May 23rd. 9:30 or May 23rd, 9:30 p.m. Hit Me Hard and Soft is removed from iTunes in the final hours of the chart tracking week. It was unavailable for at least 1 hour. And that's where the timeline ends on this post. So, okay, so I think we learned, okay, kids, I think what we learned today is that this is kind of a fake beef, right? I mean, if we're going to be so honest, like, I think that everyone in the music industry has beef with Taylor Swift. Like, if I'm going to, not to be like, I don't know if that's like a bold thing to say, but I think that if you are someone who is coming up, like I'm thinking Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, like I think that there's just like some contempt that happens. And I think that would happen in any industry. And I think that social media like has just kind of created this quote unquote beef between Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift. Like, it really doesn't seem that pointed. And oh my God, I have been seeing some people saying that they think that all of this stuff, this is like real insane person shit, right? But I'm insane, so I have to talk about it. Some people, a few on TikTok, I've seen this theory floating around that Taylor has been pulling all these strings on Billie's side, getting Billie to say this stuff about Taylor so that Taylor can like quote unquote redo the Reputation era for the Reputation re-release, which I think is truly an insane theory. Like, I don't think that's the case, but I do think that people are so creative, and I'm glad that people are allowed to express their opinions online, I guess, about that. But I would be remiss to not mention a bit of the clowning that is happening on the Taylor Swift communities online, okay? Because I'm there, okay? It's rare I'm there. I remember it. I mean, I don't even doubt that Taylor Swift was doing all of that, like, digital release, like, album variant release to bump Billie off the charts. Like, that does seem like something. And here's the thing. Taylor's team decides this stuff, right? Like, I'm not, there's no reality that I can imagine in which Taylor Swift herself, the woman she is like busy, you know? Like, she just seems busy. She's on a world tour. She has a football boyfriend. Like, she's got shit to do. Like, she is not sitting down thinking through all of the dates of all of her like quote unquote competitors, music getting released, and like I just don't like, her team is the one that keeps track of all that stuff and also runs the social media. So I do think that it is possible, however, for her team to have done that strategically along with the Billie Eilish album release, because Taylor Swift is so driven by accolades and breaking records and always doing like the best, you know, like number one everything, record breaking everything. Like, that is such a thing that we know as Taylor Swift fans. Like, we know that she is that way. And so it doesn't even seem out of the question for all of this like chart stuff that was going on during this time period. Like, that makes sense that she would be doing that in order to keep Billie from getting that number one spot or whatever it is. But I guess my next thing would be, so what? You know, like, not so what? Because I think that Taylor Swift here does have the upper hand. You know, like, why does she have to be number one everything? Like, she has proven her success tenfold, 1,000-fold. Like, Taylor Swift could never release another number one album in her life, and she would still be so famous and so rich. Taylor Swift could never release another album again and still be so, so, so famous and so, so, so rich. And she could tour and perform and make money off of that songs she's already written forever. Like, in theory, right? She's not going to do that. This woman is going to be writing songs until she dies, right? She's going to be writing songs in the grave. She can't help herself. The girl can't help it. I mean, if Taylor Swift could drop off of the face of the earth, like Taylor Swift could go into hiding and never be seen again starting tomorrow, and she would still be the most famous pop star person in music of our generation, right? Like, simply put, she doesn't need the number ones, the Grammys, the record-breaking sales, record-breaking tours anymore to prove her success. She's done that. So I don't really get if, like I said before, I do see the possibility of her strategically releasing those variants in order to push Billie off the charts. I don't know why she's got to be doing all that, because like, it's not like what is she trying to prove? Like, I genuinely want to know, like, what at this point as Taylor Swift could she possibly be trying to prove at this point? It's just a bit exhausting, but kind of my so what comment would be on Billie's side. Like, Billie Eilish, first of all, a full 12 years younger than Taylor Swift, like not even really in the same generation. And they have a similar fan base, I guess, but not like, I don't know. Like, to me, Billie Eilish is very much like people my age and younger, like Billie Eilish, right? Like elder Gen Z. Taylor Swift, I think her audience does get this younger group of people, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha, but I think that Taylor Swift's fan base is largely millennials who have grown up alongside her. So she's getting like a little bit of the older demographic. Like, I don't think that they exist at odds with each other, but anyway, that's beyond the point. What I'm saying is, let's say Billie Eilish is in all of these, let's give her the, like, let's assume for the sake of this statement, right, that when she said the thing about the vinyls variants being unsustainable, she was directing that directly to Taylor Swift. And when she was talking on Stephen Colbert, she was referring directly to the Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo of it all. And when she was on that live stream talking about a 3-hour show that nobody wants to go see, let's assume that she was directing that at Taylor and the Eras tour. If that's the case, so fucking what? Okay? Why does Billie Eilish have to like Taylor Swift? Genuinely, that doesn't, I just fear that the don't put women against each other sentiment has swung way too far in the opposite direction, where now it's like, you know, like it is okay for two women to like not like each other. Like, it doesn't seem like the girls here are actively fighting. Like, Billie and Taylor are not like fighting it out in the streets. They're not on Twitter like adding people, which I think if this maybe would have happened in 2012, maybe they would have been on Twitter adding people. Okay, rest in peace. I miss so bad when celebrities actually used to be active on Twitter and actually run their own accounts. Rest in peace. What an era. But I don't know, like, let her say, like, why does Billie Eilish need to, like, or everyone, Olivia Rodrigo, anyone, why does everyone have to kiss the ground that Taylor Swift walks on? Like, please, like, why does it matter to you as a Taylor Swift fan if Billie Eilish doesn't like Taylor Swift? Like, really? I want you to, like, look inside your hearts deep and figure that out. Like, I don't think any of my listeners have this problem because we're all normal here. Okay? But should a stray wander in, I just kind of want you to think about, like, why would we need, like, why is it affecting me as a person sitting here right now in my living room in San Diego, California? Why would it ever matter to me how Billie Eilish personally feels about Taylor Swift? It doesn't. But yeah. I think that I'm going to have to make this a little bit shorter of an episode, you guys, because I just have some other stuff to do. I really wanted to talk about Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers because that's weirdly a very special interest of mine, and I love their like blind items. Like that whole era of like Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers dating is just like so funny to me, and like I do need to talk about it because you guys know that I love like absolute shit celebrity gossip. So I am going to talk about that next week. That's getting bumped to next week's agenda. Maybe I'll do like a little bit of like a blind item, like a PR couple blind item smorgasbord. Like I was also thinking it would be fun to kind of dip into the Olivia Munn, Aaron Rodgers era. Olivia Rodgers, Jesus Christ. Aaron Rodgers is someone that you wouldn't think that I would care about because I don't give a fuck about football, but Aaron Rodgers is such a freaking weirdo that I do find myself thinking about him like more often than other football players because he is such like a blind item guy and I love a blind item. So yeah, that's going to be next week. If you have any other like suggestions or anything that you would want to hear next week, please message me. Follow the Instagram account Obscurapod. We have fun over there. I'll have everything linked in the show notes. I would really love it if you are a Spotify listener, if you wanted to answer in the box, like there's a little what did you think of this episode box that you can type in. I don't care what you put in there. You could tell me to go fuck myself, you know, but I just like really like getting those notifications that someone has answered my Q&A box. So please, I'm inviting you to leave a comment about the show. Maybe a comment about your hopes and dreams for the future. I don't know, whatever actually feels like it's sitting with your soul. But other than that, I am going to sign off. I will be back here. I'm going to try my darndest to have another episode up on time next week on Monday. So there will be less days in between this episode that you're listening to and Monday's episode, should you be a real-time listener. So isn't that amazing? Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Come follow me on socials, hang out, give me a review or a rating if you feel so inclined. I would so appreciate it. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.